Very sad story. A Black maintenance worker at a nursing facility racially abused, and this is pretty severe, put up his picture full mask. A white supervisor who allegedly called the Black maintenance worker boy and the N-word at the West Virginia nursing facility has now, the facility files a racial discrimination lawsuit, and the individual at the middle of this is obviously extremely disturbed emotionally. Quote, "I'm giving you a chance, just one chance. I'm going to be watching you, boy." This is the manner in which Ethan Mullins, a 23-year-old Black man, says the new boss spoke to him just after he was hired as a maintenance worker at a skilled nursing facility for seniors. This was in West Virginia, Parkersburg. 2023 is the year. The threatening comment allegedly made by Dustin Carpenter, the director of maintenance, was actually overheard by somebody else. The person who overheard it is Melissa McKinley. At that time, Melissa was the human resources director at Worthington HealthCare. So this guy is saying it in front of the enforcement department against administrative violations. McKinley says she found the remarks by Carpenter, quote, inappropriate and unacceptable, and the use of the term boy racially offensive. She immediately reported the incident to Worthington HealthCare Executive Director Alvin Lawson, who was responsible for employee discipline. Okay, so let's go to Lawson. What did Lawson do? Not a damn thing. Lawson took no action in response to her report. She says in the weeks and months to come, Carpenter frequently referred to Mullins as boy, screamed at and belittled him in front of other employees, treatment he did not subject white employees to under his supervision, according to a racial discrimination lawsuit filed by Mullins on January 31st in Wood County Circuit Court in West Virginia. So the individual continues to do this. It is obviously embarrassing. It is belittling. And it goes directly at the core of your value, worth, and self-esteem. I want to say thank you to the HR employee who did the absolute right thing, reported it to management. Now management decided not to respond, according to the report. So Carpenter also used the term the N-word. Multiple occasions he did this, as did another Worthington employee, Mullins claims. Carpenter also allegedly said in front of other employees that he would be watching Mullins and that he, Carpenter, was a, quote, slave driver. So what's happening here? Because the Worthington HealthCare Center, according to their motto, their protocol, their value system, they are adverse to any form of racism or bigotry. You see, it's the part that's in writing that somehow never made it to the culture, and it can't make it to the culture when infraction has no enforcement. And that's what you're saying. McKinley says these racist and racially charged statements were reported to her by Mullins and other witnesses, and that she continued to report Carpenter's harassing conduct toward Mullins up the chain, both verbally and via email to Lawson and other Worthington CommuniCare corporate representatives. She continued to do so. Lawson still took no remedial action. The Carpenter's harassment and disparate treatment of Mullins continued unabated, the complaint says. Now, there's this email trail that clearly shows if you did not know this person was engaged in racial discrimination and harassment, you now know. And if you now know and you keep the employee, you are engaged in negligent retention. We'll get to that in a moment. Carpenter once threatened Mullins by telling him if he did not strictly follow his instructions, Carpenter would ensure that Mullins, quote, could never work in the healthcare field again, the lawsuit claims. On another occasion, Carpenter allegedly told Mullins, quote, I don't understand why you guys call each other N-word and wear expensive shoes. This statement was actually overheard by somebody else. This time, Carmen Izzy, another facility employee, who reported that conduct to McKinley in HR, according to McKinley's affidavit. Mullins resigned in 2024. In his resignation letter, he cited the hostile work environment based on his race he had experienced at Worthington. The complaint says, after Mullins resigned, McKinley, quote, felt compelled to report Carpenter's specific use of the N-word to CommuniCare's regional human resources executives. His attorney, Sean Cook, told the Atlanta Black Star. This resulted in another meeting. This time, the meeting included Carpenter, Lawson, and McKinley, during which Lawson was again, quote, verbally warned about his conduct by Booth, Cook says, but neither verbal reprimand he received ended up in Carpenter's employee file, a breach of company policy, according to McKinley. Now, before I get into the lawsuit, this person, man, not just a great human resources director or manager, a great human being. After the brother resigned, she could not let it go. Why? She got too much love in her. She has too much heart. And because of what she did, it has created the perfect civil litigation case for this brother to win his suit. Suit claims that Worthington HealthCare violated West Virginia human rights laws by racially discriminating against Mullins, treating him differently than white employees, creating and maintaining a hostile and intolerable work environment, retaliating against him when he complained about race-based harassment and desperate treatment. This forced him to resign, a constructive discharge that has cost him lost wages and emotional distress. Mullins is seeking a jury trial to determine compensatory and also punitive damages. And I guarantee you, much of the evidence, especially for punitive, is going to be connected to the email chain that this human resources manager provided. So I want to highlight this story for a few reasons. Number one, the brother stood up for himself, took a lot from this company for a long time. There are allies in the field. There are allies in the field who may not look like us, may not look like you, may not look like me, but we got allies in the field. Don't forget that. Number two, good people are just good people, regardless of skin color, background, religion. Good people are just good people. And it bears out that typically good people are the best at their job. Very good. And because of this, she was empowered to do something. And sometimes, especially in politics, we feel so disempowered. Executive orders coming left and right. Funding is being threatened from higher education to Meals on Wheels. But this person was empowered to do something in the moment that was in front of them. And I'm reminded that fighting for policy obviously is good. Good policy is good any day of the week. But I also got to fight the fights right in front of me too and do good there as well. And that's how you transform a nation. All right, Wos, thoughts here.
Man, this case ran the gamut in terms of workplace abuses. The guy was being verbally abused, intimidation, discrimination, retaliatory actions taken against this. I mean, this is freaking textbook in terms of the things that are illegal to do in the workplace for rights that workers have fought for. We fought for these rights 100 years ago in terms of what was allowed to be done to an employee in a workplace. And the fact that this stuff was documented, that this guy was so abusive and so racially motivated in his abuses. I mean, this is just a slam dunk case for Mullins and his family. And it's just kind of insane that this could happen in America these days, that somebody could be at their job and one of their bosses is spewing the N-word at them and just racially berating them. Like, you would think that we'd be past that,
right,
as a sort of behavior in our workplaces, but apparently not. And hopefully these people, both the guy who perpetuated this stuff and the folks who oversaw it and negligently allowed for it to continue, hopefully they get their just due as well.
That's right. And obviously this doesn't happen without the protection of corporate entities and
100%.
particular places. And so to Worthington, you got some good employees there. You all need to take a lesson out of their playbook. I would highly advise you not to retaliate against them.